So we are going to start with a very special session close to us, which will determine the roadmap of India's Olympic Academy. With the best person here, with the best team here, with the best guidance here, now I would like to introduce Professor Makis, who has already been introduced in the opening ceremony. A great guy and also a great leader who's going to help us, and he has extended all his support in order to build the National Olympic Academy as well as the roadmap. So this is not one day we are discussing. We have been discussing this from past 6 months or so, and finally we are on this day actualizing this. That finally India will look forward, as Professor Makis also mentioned, to a lot of programs, because education still lies one of the vertical and a very important fundamental vertical if India aspires to host mega events, and if India aspires to host be the sporting power. So with these words, I would like to invite Professor Makis. The floor is all yours, and we are all looking forward to learn a lot of things, including myself. Most welcome. Let's give a big round of applause.
You can sit here, you can have volume mic.
Can I? All right, I will. All right. Hello again. Here? You hear me? Okay, now you can hear me. All right, more of me today. That's the main reason I came here, to talk to you about the topics I'm gonna talk. Thank you very much for the introduction. I think it's a bit overdone. Of course, I'm very proud of representing the International Olympic Academy, and I have been there for the last 2 years. I left, let's say, the action job I had as an event organizer for many, many years in my life. And now I have been asked to join the team of the International Olympic Academy. Persons like Mrs. Karaiskou, Alexandra, she's working there for more than 20 years, like all the others, trying to push, promote the role, as I said before, of education around the world, and the importance of education in shaping future leaders, like we hope that happens with you, change makers, people that play a role in the industry. I present to you in the second part, which is more pleasant than the first part. I will present to you about the IOA, what is kind of institution, the facilities and everything. But before I get there, let me share with you a few thoughts about the future of sport, what is happening today, just some points, just to understand what are the points that we have to deal when we deal with education. Of course, it's a great honor once more to be here, and thank you for the Research Center here for inviting us, and especially Professor Ucha for making everything possible for me to be here. This milestone does not only coincide with the reactivation of the Olympic Academy here in India, which is very important, the largest and one of the most important and historical countries in the world, but also it's a reminder, this whole presentation, of the vital role that national Olympic academies play in ensuring that Olympic values, that's the most important thing, the Olympic values remain alive and relevant in the lives of young people and societies around the world. When we reflect on the history of Olympism, we think of the ancient Olympic Games, the vision of Pierre de Coubertin, the founder, and the great moments of sport that have inspired humanity. Yet today, in this conference hall, our duty is not only to honor the history, but to look ahead and to move ahead. All of us, that were involved or were about to get involved in the Olympic movement can shape the future. We are part of the movement and we can play a role. And depends on how much work you do, how you connect, how much passionate you are, you can be even more involved. The topic I'm going to present is shaping, I don't know if do I have here? Yes. Shaping tomorrow, the future of sport and education, from values to action. Sport today, which is timely and urgent. Sport today stands at a crossroads. We are living in a world of profound transformation, technological, environmental, cultural, and social. These changes are reshaping the way athletes train, the way people engage, the way communities live, and the way nations interact. The question before us is clear. How can the Olympic movement guide these changes rather than simply guided by them? So how we can become leaders and define our future and just following the others on what they do? The answer lies in education. Education grounded in values. Education that connects ideas with practice. Education that equips young people not only to compete in sport, but to live fully as citizens of the world. Here in India, a country pursuing the Olympic dream, a nation that has long praised education as a foundation for societal success, this question resonates deeply. Today, I will speak about the future of sport, and especially I will speak about matters such as the artificial intelligence and the human dimension of sport, the esports and the redefinition of competition, sustainability and the climate change, gender equality, from progress to transformation, for human rights and the dignity of the athlete, and of course about the IOA and its role within the Olympic education world. I'm not doing good with the slides, but we're going here. Let's speak about artificial intelligence, okay? Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. We used to watch the movies either from Hollywood or Bollywood or whatever and talking about science fiction. Nowadays, artificial intelligence, AI, is not a fiction anymore. It's a reality. It's here. And it is transforming sport in ways unimaginable just a decade ago. From biometric analysis to injury prevention, from personalized training programs to predictive modeling, AI is revolutionizing performance. It helps coaches optimize training, detect weaknesses, and maximize every athlete's potential. Professor Pichiladis, I guess he knows much more than everybody else in this room. It assists referees and officials in decision-making, enhancing fairness, accuracy. It even enhances fan engagement through immersive, personalized experiences. For first time in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, AI-driven camera systems tracked athlete movements in real time, giving audiences an unprecedented level of insight into performance dynamics. European football leagues now use AI to predict injury risks and adapt training loads, extending careers and protecting athlete health. In Paralympic sport, AI has enabled the development of more efficient prosthetics, allowing athletes to push human limits safely. And this is just a few examples. Yet, with all this promise comes profound questions, and that's what our role here actually, okay? If performance is increasingly guided by algorithms, where we draw the line between natural ability and technological enhancement. How do we preserve unpredictability, spontaneity, and the human element that makes sport captivating? Sport is not mathematics, we know that. Sport is the drama of human effort, the beauty of imperfection sometimes, and the triumph of spirit over limitation. The Olympic movement must not reject technology. Rather, it must guide it. AI should remain a servant, not a master. Used wisely, it can expand access, protect athlete health, and make sport more inclusive. But the core principle must remain: at the heart of every competition is the human being, not the machine.
Let me see how I do with, okay, here we go.
Let me speak a little bit about esports. You realize I'm not going to give a thorough thing, that just to put questions, as Professor Woods have said, and just to point out the main topics. Another force reshaping the landscape of sport is the rapid increase of esports. For millions of young people worldwide, competitive gaming is their structure encounter with competition. So they only know competition through game. They train, compete, and build communities mirroring many structures of traditional sport. Esports raise also profound questions. What defines a sport? How can digital competition be degraded into the Olympic world without diminishing the value of physical activity and human connection? Can digital arenas truly embody respect, excellence, and friendship? The challenge is not whether esports will grow, they will, we are sure about it. The challenge is whether they will carry the Olympic spirit. If esports are to enter the Olympic family, they must embrace values, not just competition. The task of Olympic institutions, like the International Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Academy, the National Olympic Associations, the National Olympic Committees, the National Olympic Academies, is to ensure that this alignment, creating programs that blend digital gaming with lessons on respect, teamwork, and global citizenship. Okay, sustainability and the climate change, another challenge of the times. No issue today is more urgent than the climate crisis. Sport does not exist in isolation from the planet. Rising temperatures, extreme weather, and environmental degradation directly threatens athletes, events, and communities. We have witnessed marathon events in dangerous heat, ski resorts without snow, barely saving Milano upcoming, and coastal venues at risk from rising seas. Yet, sport can also be a leader in environmental action. Paris 2024 committed to being the first carbon neutral Olympic Games, and they achieved that, emphasizing sustainability and green innovation and demonstrating how urban planning, eco-friendly infrastructure, and environmental education can coexist with world-class sporting events. Sport can teach us that sustainability is not abstract, it is live, lived. Energy-efficient stadiums, sustainable transport, and climate-conscious operations are more than logistics. They are lessons in citizenship. Athletes themselves are powerful voices for environmental stewardship. When they speak, the young people listen. After all, what value is a gold medal in the field of play if the field of play itself is destroyed? Gender equality. The recent Olympics in Paris achieved a 50-50 participation between men and women, marking a historic progress that started actually in Tokyo. Paris 2024 became the first Olympic Games in history to achieve complete gender parity on the field of play. Yet, equality is more than numbers. Important gaps remain in leadership positions, coaching, pay equity, media visibility, and opportunities across the sporting world. The challenge ahead is to transform numerical equity into the genuine equity, a culture where women have equal power, representation, and recognition at every level of the sport. Looking ahead, Los Angeles 2028 can become a model for this transformation by ensuring that gender equality extends beyond the competition arena into governance, education, and innovation, shaping a truly inclusive Olympic future. Although I personally doubt with the current president of the United States that Los Angeles can achieve all of that, but anyway, that's a personal thing, take out outside here. Athletes like Alison Felix, who fought for maternity rights, show that equality is about dignity, opportunity, and respect, are to be watched. Across Asia, women athletes are becoming national icons, challenging cultural barriers. True transformation requires cultural change. Girls feeling safe to play, women's sports receiving equal recognition, leadership shared equally. Olympic education is central here again, showing students, athletes, and communities that fairness is both principle and practice. Human rights. As the core of Olympism, as I said before in my initial speech, is the dignity of every human being. Sport can protect and promote human rights, but it can also fail when abuses are ignored. Yusra Martini, a Syrian refugee and member of the Refugee Olympic team, illustrates sports power to restore hope and identity. The Special Olympics empower individuals with intellectual disabilities, yet cases of harassment, abuse, and exploitation remind us of the work still needed. Participation in sport is a human right. Safeguarding athletes from abuse, discrimination, and political exploitation is a defining responsibility of our time. The Olympic movement must act decisively, modeling courage, vigilance, and justice. For all of the above reasons, we are here, as I said in my initial speech this morning. Education. That is why Olympic education matters more than ever before. No issue in sport, no development in sports, no changes in sports, no changes in the society can be dealt successfully if education is not in the front seat. The future of sport is shaped not only by technology, climate, and equality, but by education. And that is most important. That is the most important role that the International Olympic Academy and the National Olympic Academies and the Olympic Study Research Centers and the Olympic libraries and the sport libraries and the Olympic museums have to play worldwide. Disseminate the dialogue about all of the above matters to the world, to prepare related educational programs, to open up not only to the Olympic world, but also to the general public. And that is a challenge, because most of the times, most of us deal internally with the sport world because we feel we have to play a role there. But still, there's a general public that is important and so we should look at. We have to translate Olympic values into real world action and using for a more human world. Having said this theoretical stuff, now let me just talk to you a little bit about the organization I'm working for. And this is the International Olympic Academy and the role of the International Olympic Academy. It's a presentation that is a little bit more pleasant than the previous, but will give you a window to our country, to the International Olympic Academy, which is actually an academy here, our premises, based in ancient Olympia, the birthplace of the ancient Olympic Games. And actually, the academy is built right next to an ancient Olympic stadium. It was founded in back in 1961. Decisions were made by the International Olympic Committee much before that. And according to the Olympic Charter, the IOC, the role of the IOA is to encourage and support the activities of the International Olympic Academy. That's the IOC's role. It's part of Olympic Charter. So the IOA, the International Olympic Academy, which sometimes we say here in India, it's totally confused with the Indian Olympic Association. So when I say IOA for this part of the presentation, I mean the International Olympic Academy. Is an organization actually established under the auspices of the International Olympic Committee. Our vision is to remain the global center of Olympic education. The IOA is recognized as the global center for education in and through Olympism. And this is important to clarify here, because talking about Olympic education, many people think that we talk only about the Olympic Games. And this is not true. Talking about Olympic education is talking about education in Olympic ideas, in Olympic world, in Olympic system, but through the education for this. That means that we need to use the values for every educational topic. It's not only speaking about values, but speaking about every topic in the Olympic ecosystem, having the values in the background. This is the way we shape new generations of role models, leaders, and change makers. Everybody who has visited IOA is speaking about a transformational experience. It's really the place, the facilities, the lectures, the feeling of being next to the place that the Olympic Games were born and talking about important topics of the Olympism. It's a transformative experience, and I encourage all of you, in the first chance you have in your life, if you ever find yourselves in Europe or in Greece, please visit our facilities. And if you find a way with your institution, your colleges, your business, your entities, your facilities, to have a chance to do an educational trip, it's a must to visit the birthplace of the Olympic Games. We offer education and inspiration for Olympians. That's the second major thing. It's not only we offer educational programs, but we're actually the place that a lot of Olympic issues, Olympic matters are discussed. So we try to inspire people to discuss about the future of the Olympic Games, the future of the Olympic movement, to create new ideas, to have the academic freedom to be able even to challenge current leaderships in order to move forward. So one part is providing educational programs for the existing knowledge. The other part is creating new knowledge, new ideas, challenging systems, and looking ahead to the future of the game. As I said before, why we do that? Because we believe that in the power of education in order to create a more humane and connected world. We believe that education can change people, can bridge cultural differences, can create a mutual understanding environment for a better world. We offer a number of educational programs throughout the year. Some of them are our own, repeatedly every year, sessions for young ambassadors from the Olympic committees, sessions for delegates of National Olympic Academies and National Olympic Committees, postgraduate seminar, sessions for educators from around the world. This is our own team. Then we work with other institutions, with other universities like Harvard, like the Ministry of Education in Greece, like National Olympic Academies around the world. And we either create collaborative programs or we host their own programs with our intervention. In total, since 1961, over 100,000 young people have come through the IOA and experienced our educational programs and experience the spirit of Olympism in the place that gave birth to the Olympics. Annually, 6,000, now more, because we have increased our programs, visit the IOA for various reasons, for sessions, for seminars, for educational programs, for conventions, for conferences, and goes on. And from all over the industry. These are our stakeholders, the ones within the Olympic movement. They are the National Olympic Academies, the National Olympic Committees, all the foundations and all the institutes of the International Olympic Committee, the national and national federations, athletes, Olympians, Olympic medalists, studies, Olympic studies centers, WADA, Organizing Committee of Olympic Games, sport clubs, Olympians associations. This is an Olympic world, but we have visitors and stakeholders from outside the Olympic world, from the tourism area, from educational and universities, and educational industry, universities, research centers, outside the Olympic world, somehow connected, like the military association, the sport journalists associations, from United Nations, from organizations within and outside Europe, or even from the public sector. We use a number of media, now like every organization nowadays. We have our own publications every year, we have a journal, we have proceedings from our sessions, and we have, of course, a website and social media. You can see some of them here. And this is a page of our website. You can visit our website. You get a lot of information for everything we do every year, from the past to the current. This is part of our publications. Some of them they are on the occasion of anniversaries, 60 years or 10 years, or on the occasion of Olympic Games, on everything. We have special publications about Olympic education. And all these publications right now exist and inside our Olympic library. I'll speak about it. These are some of the proceedings. Every year we have our sessions, we have proceedings, so we can visit our website. And now we have online all of them. You can find there a lot of topics for your studies. This is a journal that now it's biannual, twice per year. We have our journal with the news of everything we do, plus the news from the National Olympic Academies from around the world, plus some good articles from prominent professors or people from the movement. This is our facilities here. I don't know if there is any pointer here or not. You can see over there the stadium, the ancient stadium of the ancient Olympic Games, and behind that all the archaeological site and the museum. And here you can see our facilities. We have all-inclusive facilities. I'll show you a little bit with accommodation facilities, restaurants, sport facilities, a conference hall there on the top. You can see there the village, the small village. This is the village of ancient Olympia, which the Olympic Games name is coming from. Okay. And this is a night view. It's a very beautiful facility. Besides, it's in a very historical and symbolic place. It's beautiful by itself, within a very rich nature environment and the river crossing by. It's all inclusive, as I said. We have everything. You go there, you don't need to go anywhere else, although always we encourage people to go outside, see the village, see the archaeological site, the museum, go by the coastal zone, which is the Ionian Sea, and the sea there, it's very beautiful. Greece is very well known for that, so you can combine study with some tourism as well. This is our conference hall, a big one. Has an amphitheater of 400 plus seats, and a number of meeting rooms, a classroom, and of course lounges, and the library. Our library was just connected last year with the Olympic World Library. It's the second biggest library in the Olympic matters in the world, and now we're on the way to fully digitalize our library, so we're very proud of it. This is our conference hall for our sessions, for the big seminars, for the conferences. These are some of our classrooms for our our lessons and courses and lectures with small groups. This is our library. We host there the historical archives of the Athens 2004 Olympic Games. So all the archives of the Athens Olympic Games, if you want to study on the Olympic Games, and I hope you're going to do that, because if you want to go after the Olympic Games, you need to create a lot of people to know what's happened in the previous Olympic Games. So if you want to know everything about the Athens Olympic Games, so how we did it, although we had a number of Olympic Games after that, then you can visit and you can have here in our archives everything, designs, facility designs, all the booklets we had, everything related to the Olympic Games. We are very proud in this monument here, you can see the steel at this picture. We host, we can say the word, the heart of Pierre de Coubertin. So Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the Olympic Games, he wished that after he died, that his body to be buried in Lausanne, the headquarters of the International Olympic Committee, but his heart to be buried in ancient Olympia, the place that inspired him. And so it's here, you can visit, a lot of people come there, take pictures. Of course, as I said, we're having facilities. This is our nice restaurant for our students, for the people that visit and have conferences with us, with a nice cafeteria area. You can see here part of our accommodation facilities. We have more than 100 rooms, single, double, some of them are VIP or suites, so we can host meetings of up to 200 people actually, comfortably, and feed them. And then you see how the rooms, this is the VIP rooms, not all the rooms are like that. I wish they were, but we have a number of them for our people from the IOC, from our VIP guests. Very nice rooms, it's almost a 5-star hotel level. And see here some of the rooms we have for the students. Equally very good, very comfortable, close to nature in a well-designed rooms. This is a double one. Some of them, they are triple with this kind of bed, their own toilets. We have sport facilities. We have for football, track and field, basketball. Very live. We have for beach volleyball as well, tennis facilities. So this is more for recreation. We don't organize games there, but the people who live in who come and visit us, they have really plenty of choices for their own exercise. We have a swimming pool, especially we open it up for the summertime. And inside the table tennis facilities. And in general, and let me finish with that, in partnership with the National Olympic Academies, and hopefully particularly with your National Olympic Academy, since the decision to be reactivated has been taken, we are trying to, considering our role, work and willingness, to make our lives meaningful and our hopes for a better world totally justifiable. So I hope I didn't get a lot of time. I'm here to listen to any questions of yours, and you will have a lot of information later on about National Olympic Academies, the network, what they do, the National Olympic Academies, how they serve the nations by my colleague, Mrs. Karaiscu, Alex, to be easier for everyone. She's here with me. And it's actually, although I'm the director of the Academy, Alexandra and some other people there, being there for more than 20 years, have kept the IOA alive for these years. IOA is an international organization based in Greece, but because it's based in Greece, you know that we have been through a lot of economic problems the last 20 years. Now we're fine. So during these hard times, Alex and her colleagues kept the IOA alive. So I consider myself a director student. She's the boss with the others for me, and she's leading the guiding light for as long as I stay here, because as you've heard today so many times, that was not my best day for my 20s, that was my best day for upper levels, so sometime I need to go, but people like Alexandra can keep going the work and keep the IOA alive. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm here to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So if an easy question, I can respond. If it's a hard one, I have Alex.
All right. So the crowd, the audience, if anyone have any questions, please. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, I'm oh yeah, my fellow Greek, famous professor around the world, Mr. Dr. Pitsilaris Giannis.
Thank you, Makis, for a very, very inspirational talk. I loved it very, very much, and I'm sure the audience felt the same way. As you know, I sit on the IOC International Olympic Medical Commission, and we're dealing with some big issues in sport, almost in every theme that you talked about in terms of education. Global warming, huge impact on sport. Gender, huge impact on sport. We didn't talk a lot about doping, also that's one of the issues as well, which I'll
Because you're here, and I'm scared to speak about doping.
No.
With you in front.
No, but my point is, and as you indicate from the mission statement of the International Olympic Academy, your role is so very important. That came across so strongly. How is the International Olympic Academy interacting in decision making that's been happening? Because I would like to argue, and I sit on the medical commission, that the educational component is not coming across. So you guys are doing a fantastic job, it was clear, but a lot of the decisions have been taken, there will be a few decisions being taken in the next few weeks that I'm privy to that I won't share with the audience, that are pretty scary. Clearly education is not happening, maybe to the ones that need to hear it most. So is there a way, without putting you in a difficult position, that if those educational aspects that our students, your students are hearing about, get to be heard by the federations, the presidents who are making decisions that are probably counter to a lot of what you're teaching the students. I'll give you a non-sensitive example. Having an event taking place at 12 o'clock, midday, at 40 degrees, should not happen. They are not being educated. So is there a bigger role, and I'm thinking there's also the sustainability of the International Olympic Academy for the future, that has a more important stakeholder role that also safeguard it for its future? My question to you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Dr. Pitsilaris points out the basic issue that all large ecosystems or organizations they have a coordination between the various departments, a coordination between various committees, like the IOC has departments, has commissions, has everything. They take decisions, they want to do stuff, and then when they try to disseminate the decisions, instead of having a coordinated part in order to place it out in the world, there it stops, because it's sometimes commissions, power games, miscoordination. So what we do, we've been speaking to the IOC all these last years, that all the work they do in the various commissions, they should find a way to coordinate with us and take advantage or use our systems, our network of professors, our facilities, along with the people in the commissions, in order, as I said before, to transform knowledge to educational programs. So that is going out and people. So, and that could be influenced either the general public or the school systems, or even the national federations or the international federations. Yanni, we're not there yet. We are trying very hard. We're trying to find the ways to coordinate between the pillars of the Olympic movement, the national Olympic committees, the IOC, and the international federations. And each one of these pillars has all the systems below. The national Olympic committees, there are like over 200 of them, and they, in their own countries, they play the role of disseminating the sport issues. The international federations, with the national federations, they do the job for the sport, okay? And the IOC, with all the commission, is creating this knowledge and integrating the work. So the IOA has told them many times that we are there for them. We are not waiting, we are pushing, we are proposing stuff, but really we cannot be, we are so successful to make sure that everything is being discussed in Lausanne or everywhere in the world with international federations is being transformed to educational programs. Now they are like international federations, they have their own academies for their own thing, like the football, the FIFA Academy or the UEFA Academy for football. But when it comes to the Olympic world, I think that the IOA, along with the network of the NOAs, they have to play the same role within the countries. They are the institutions to do the job. And there they can connect with universities, like they work with there, or the research centers, or the libraries, or the museums, in order to create an integrated system of passing information out to the world. So it's a good question. Without that makes us feel how important is our job, not only creating educational programs, but working with the systems and the politicians and the decision makers in order to make it even better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Makis. I would like to take this opportunity first.
Yes,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So my straight and very simple question will be why India needs an NOA right now, and what are the three priorities that India should focus upon while creating this NOA, and what should be the three priorities that India should work upon after creating the NOA?
Yes. Why you have to create a National Olympic Academy is obvious. That the area is huge, you need to coordinate all various regions, all the work is being done by the various universities, by research centers. This needs to be combined, create nationwide educational programs, and speak with the regions in order how to disseminate this knowledge. So it's very important if you go for the Olympics to tell to the world that we're here not only for sport, we're here to create the proper culture for Olympics and the proper education and disseminate the values of the Olympics. Three priorities. I think priority number one is to prepare the national federations for the work that they have to do in order to prepare the sport world of India to perform the best way during the Olympics. We cannot imagine a country organizing the Olympics as not, let's say, a protagonist in the competition field. So you need to prepare the national federations, not only for the organization part of the Olympics, but also in order to prepare the proper athletes, coaches, referees, administrators to be able to excel during the upcoming Olympics. The second priority is to get into the school system and speak to the young people and through them to their families and goes on about what Olympics can bring to this country, about what kind of values, what kind of extra values, how the families will feel better, how the community can operate better. So you need to get to the school system. You need to talk to the people about Olympism as a philosophy behind the educational system. And the third one is, I believe that you need to prepare all the administrators from venues, programs, local communities, cities, especially in the area that you are pursuing the Olympics, like this area, how to get ready in order to organize such a mega event. It's a huge event, it's a lot of resources. These resources need to be educated, and I think that preparing the whole system for the organization of the Olympic Games is a priority for the Olympic Committee through the Olympic Academy and the universities that work with them.
Thank you. Yes.
A friend of ours, yes.
Can you hear me, sir? How is IOA working on corruption in sports, whether it is match fixing or betting or manipulation techniques?
Oh, I'm losing you. So I was looking somewhere else. Please repeat it to the mic.
Sir, how IOA is working on match fixing, betting or corruption angle in sport events, sir? Whether it is on the higher echelons to the athletes involved in corruption.
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 Well, if IOA is trying to work, we cannot do this easily because we don't have all the resources, in all issues of the agenda of the International Olympic Committee. One of the major agenda issues is how to fight corruption, which comes through good governance, just control betting and the whole corruption part through the IPACs and the proper commissions. What we tell them, and I was there the last time that they were offering a seminar for corruption to a National Olympic Committee, is that why don't you use your National Olympic Academies in order to speak to the people. So really, it's one of the topics. It's very important nowadays, corruption, but it's not the only one. And we don't really have all the available resources for that because every year, within the time restraints we have and the people available, we have touched the corruption topic through the IOA sessions, but this is need to be going all the time. So you can visit our library, you can visit our proceedings to see stuff there, but really the corruption stuff is much bigger than we can say we are very successful in educating. Okay.
Hello, sir. This is Parendra Moda, and I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in international relations from RNU. So, firstly, I have two questions regarding, as you talked about, the first question is about equality. As you had mentioned that Olympism also promotes equality among genders and things. So, I just wanted to ask regarding, on a much wider context, is that don't you think that the International Olympic Academy should also promote awareness about preventing biasness towards states in the context of Russia and Israel? And secondly, as you told about sustainability, how the host cities can just reuse the stadiums after the conclusion of the Olympic Games. And could those stadiums be used again if the Olympics are held in the same cities? That's all.
Well, okay, go. We need to discuss about everything now in the Olympic movement, which is a challenge. I'm not sure I got the first point, but I got the second one about sustainability. Yes, it's very important. That's I have a personal experience because I was part of the team working and designing the Olympic Games in Athens. That it's very important when you go for the Olympics to make sure that all the planning is sticking and is based more on the post-Olympic era than the Olympics themselves. We did this mistake in Greece. It's a very small country, okay, especially compared to yours, we're nothing. We're like 10 million people. And we got the responsibility in 96, 97 to organize the Games in 2004. We have 8 years to organize the Olympic Games. For the size of Greece, was a huge job. So we concentrated so much on organizing the games and finding the resources in this small country that sometime, along with all the politics involved, we lost the vision of preparing all facilities and everything we do for the future and not only for 2004. So I would encourage you, and I think you have now the knowledge, don't do that. When you go for the Olympics, spend a lot of time, even during the bidding period, in order to say how you have to make it right. I was telling my people by that time, or some of us were telling that, okay, we spend money for the bidding process, at the same time, we need to spend a little time, a percentage, in case we get the games, not to lose time, to prepare the legislation, to prepare the system, to prepare the organization, to make sure as soon as we get the games, we don't lose time. We got the games in 97, and it took us 3 years in order to start rolling. So 3 years lost, that means we're running behind. If you start running behind and the entire world is criticizing you, then you focus on organizing the games right and thinking about how after the games all this infrastructure will be used. So I will say that's the lesson. During the bidding phase, right now, and even when you get the games, all planning should be based on the post-Olympic use of everything you prepare, on how much good you can do for the local communities, for the cities, for the region, for Gujarat. You need to think bigger than just the games and 36. You need to think about 2050. So you have to create a vision, let's say Gujarat 2050, you know where you get there, and use the games as a vehicle to get there, and not the games themselves as the final destination. That's the point. So that was a good question because that's the most important thing for the sustainability. Okay, the game should be a vehicle and not the final destination for the development of the area. The first question you asked, I'm not sure I got you. And please speak a bit slower because it's my Greek English. It's a new language.
Okay. So what I was trying to say that as you talked about maintaining equality, of promoting equality among genders, that in the case of which is the core idea of Olympism. So should that idea be also be expanded to states, like as in the case of Russia and Israel, like as the IOC had banned Russia from participating in any of the Olympic Games, and they were not allowed to participate with its own national flag or with its proper national team. So with that,
Why you are trying to get me in troubles here? I'm a visitor. Be nice with me.
I was just curious to answer that point.
Okay. No comment. No, it's all right. It's okay. I understand. It's a big issue. All right. It's not easy, especially dealing with that. So it's a very complicated world, and it's a very complicated situation. And the discussion always between sports, politics, international relations is not an easy discussion. There is no black and white. There is always areas in between. So IOC, let me say only that. With now, if you read a week ago the statement of the new president of the IOC, Kirsty Coventry, about her response, why now they don't exclude the United States from the Olympic Games because of things happening either Venezuela or whatever. I think that the statement of the new president of the IOC at least covers me fully that we should not use the Olympic movement and sport as an area in order to resolve issues that do not belong to the world. The sports is here to unify people. We cannot use sport to keep creating barriers between countries, nations, religions, and national interests. So let me stick to that for the moment with a generic statement and live safe India.
We'll be taking last two questions. Last two questions, please.
Okay, very good afternoon, Professor Makis, and all the international guests who are here, and especially the national participants and all the students of this university. So it was a very interesting session that we had, and it's keep me very keen to and curious about, as you informed us that previous Olympics. My question is on gender equality, and that you have informed us that equal numbers were reported as the participants, male and female, equal numbers were reported in that, and it will be increased because that's really motivating and aspiring that projection that it will increase in 2028 Olympics also. And my question is that as we are heading to establish a national Olympic academy over here, and when we talk about gender equality in our country, the transgenders are having a status of third gender. They are as equal as a male and female gender. And secondly, in our education system, they are also having the equal participation and they are studying in our institution. So how this national academy or this international this Olympic academy having an association with that create a inclusive sports for the opportunity for the transgender.
You're going well up to the last moment. So that's what we are. We are a place to discuss these topics. We are not a place to create policy for that. Let me clarify that. The policy for gender equality, for transgender, for anything related to protecting if that's a proper word, the female category, in a world that right now is debating about it, with everything is happening, is not the responsibility of the IOA. The IOA is the place for these matters to be discussed, for academicians to come there and speak, for politicians to come there and speak, for people from the Olympic world, in order to create a framework for IOC to take these decisions. So let me be clear on that. We don't expect either the National Olympic Academy in India or National Olympic Academy in other countries to create policies. We are to create educational environment, a framework or programs for policies to be developed. So really, you need to make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you get to troubles because then it starts who's making the policy, the IOC or the IOA. Who's making the policy, the National Olympic Committee or the National Olympic Academy or the governments. So they are the place, that's the university they are, to create all the dialogue and to produce all the knowledge in order for the policy makers to have all the data to take the proper decisions. Sometimes we make recommendations, sometimes we produce proceedings saying stuff that happens, but we are trying to avoid to become the ones to say this is the policy you have to follow because this is not what we should do. It's much more complicated when it comes to policy or gender equality or whatever, how to take these decisions, and doesn't really belong either to universities or to institutions or to education. We are there to provide the data, to make research, and then when the policies have been decided, and especially when they are coming from a common understanding, we create educational programs in order to deliver and disseminate these policies to the people. I don't know if I responded to if I covered you or not. Okay? Yeah?
Professor Makis, thank you for your. Yeah?
I'm not the one to give you the answer, but
Just a second. Okay.
So if I just add very quickly, because that was my point, and thank you for that question. Part of the work we are doing very much at the moment is dealing with the transgender issue. So the transgender and also the DSD, you know, of your famous athlete, the sprinter athlete, who's been quite severely affected by the rules. And it goes back to my point, Mike, is that discussion has to happen in Olympia. Some years ago, we had an issue of, I'll talk about doping tomorrow, and I invited all the different countries to Olympia. This is before your time. And before they arrived, no one was speaking to each other. Like, you know, the Americans would speak to the Russians, they would speak to the Kenyans, they would whatever. By the time we finished Olympia, they were drinking beer together. And that's the beauty of what can happen in Olympia. So I'm using as an example that at the moment, when I said to you there'll be some announcements in the next few weeks, the situation is that there isn't that discussion happening. And I say that as part of the medical commission of the IOC. So that is why I think your role, Makis, and the International Olympic Academy is so important. What you just said about having those meetings, then the discussion, it has to happen. My point is, I'm not saying that you guys have to make a decision on policy, of course not. But those discussions have to happen there, as they happened in ancient Greece. Unless we do that, I think the Olympic Games will have the same outcome that the ancient Olympic Games will have. They will cease to exist. And as you all know very well, we are months away of the enhanced games. The enhanced games happen on the 21st of May next year. It's the anti-Olympic Games. And they could succeed if the International Olympic Committee doesn't wake up. And I say that, you remember the International Olympic Medical Commission. We have serious problems, and your one is just one of them. Our publication will come in the next 2 days in British Journal of Sports Medicine, where we talk about this issue. And I'm actually appalled where it's going. Anyway, sorry about the time. I just have to say that the question is such a good one.
Last question.
Because so it's not very. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your explanation. Why? Because the differentiation of a male and female gender is characterized by a testosterone hormone level. We have the Paralympics, we have a Special Olympic, and the disability is characterized by their disability, the severe of their disability, grade 1, grade 2, level 1, level 2, level 3. And same fashion, in testosterone level also, may we create some kind of levels. So we have definitely in future we will provide the platform to the transgender in advocates. That is the only I want to convey in this discussion. Thank you.
I take both And I agree that Olympia is a place that top things could be discussed, but in general for me is the academic environment that things can come, people can come closer. So I say that I would love everyone to come to Libya. We know that the symbolism of the place encourages, and that's why we say a lot of things could happen there. But still, because not everybody can come there, I'm encouraging you to create here in every country the environment for this dialogue to happen, for people to get closer. This is for me what is the academic environment about. And that's why lately, and I finish with that, the IOA always invited people to come to Central Libya to do stuff. Just to tell you that the last 5 years and the IOA, and that was one of the initiatives that Alex has taken with other people, now is getting out of Libya as well if we need to. Like we are here, we are in Saudi Arabia doing courses and diplomas, we are in Bahrain, we are in Chinese Taipei, we're here, we go to other countries because we feel education is education, academic environment is academic environment. If it's as symbolic as it's ancient Libya, it's perfect, but it's not the only place. So if someone, Muhammad, doesn't go to the mountain goes to Muhammad. So we do that. We have got out of ancient Libya, and we are ready to serve in any country because it's important the dialogue to happen and people get together. Okay, Professor?
Yes. Professor Makis, thank you very much. Last question, I think. Can I, sir? Thank you very much for your insightful session. My question is regarding the countries which are not participating in Olympics. Is there any program or initiative IOA is taking at present?
What participation? You said participate in what?
In Olympics. Participation in Olympics. The countries which are not participating, they are not having any exposure and stimulation to participate in Olympics and their events.
Well, 10,500 athletes, how much you can fit in there? So not all of the sports can be in the Olympics. Not all of the countries in all sports be in the Olympics, because that would be perfect. But on the other hand, just imagine who can organize games that all countries in all sports participate in Olympics. Then we will need more than 40,000 athletes to the Olympics. That will not be affordable or sustainable. So I believe that what they do now with the participation, they have said that the core sports, there are these 26 sports that participate. In every country they organize the games, they allow the country to propose 4 or 5 sports to be part of the specific Olympic Games. These sports although should be tailor-made, let's say somehow, to the culture of the country, still they need to meet criteria. You cannot go and say, because I organize the Olympics, I organize the sport. If this sport is not widespread around the world, in all continents, and has the proper number of national federations. But not all of the athletes in every sport in every country participate in the Olympics. The Olympics, at the sport level, not the other levels, remain an elite competition. So only the best of the best can go to the Olympics. And in order to have this participation of many nations, I guess most of you know, in the Olympics, 206 Olympic committees participate in the Olympics. They have defined 2 sports, swimming and athletics, that every country, at least in the sports, even the athletes are not qualified, they can send one at least female and one male athlete to go to the Olympics. And then we cannot do that. Like if you have like a baseball tournament with 12 teams, 12, that's it. And now they have cricket with 10 teams, I don't know, they have 8. How many they can go to cricket? It's impossible to make a mega event because then it's not be able to be organized. So every time there is a huge discussion, I was part of this discussion, how you can create a fair environment for everyone who has a chance. But Olympics is for the elite sport. You cannot debate on that. It's not a recreation, it's not sport for all. That's another part. Okay?
All right. Thank you, everyone. As we are running short of time, I would like to thank you, Professor Makis, for his lovely presentation and answering the question. I request the audience to please give a round of applause to Professor Makis. Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll be joining around 2:30. 2:30 onwards, we'll be having session on the role of NOIs in Olympic education from values to action by Ms. Alexandra Kereske, IORC Conference Opening Ceremony. We'll meet at 2:30. Thank you.